everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today we're taking a look at the Civivi Elementum 2. Obviously this is the Blade HQ Desert Warrior exclusive, but we're going to be treating this video as a review of just the knife itself. We're just going to be reviewing the Civivi Elementum 2 design. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. There's my ruler. I thought we were about to have some further ado, but nope, I found it. So, sharpened edge. We are coming in here a little bit under 3 inches, a little bit over 2 3/4. If we measure all the way back to the scales, we're coming in just a hair over 3 inches, like just a tiny hair. If we go a closest spot on the scale, yeah, about 3 inches. It's the same dimensions as the Elementum 1, right? Let's go ahead and get our size comparisons out here. Starting us off, as always, are the rats. There's the 1 and the 2. So, yep, it's Elementum sized. Who would have thunk, right? Now, this is the Elementum 2 button lock. Obviously, they had a button lock Elementum. That was the big gravity knife looking thing. Everyone knows the whole story. Their naming scheme is a little bit weird, but here's our PM2. And there's our Benchmade bug out. Good deal, good deal. And let's go ahead and bring out our Civivi comparisons. There's the Praxis, and this knife is actually my new size comparison Elementum, but here, let's bring the old one out of retirement for today. Yeah, the same dimensions as the original. We'll probably be bringing this out as the video continues. Let's also bring out another Civivi, though, just because there's the Baby Banter, which, by the way, have you guys seen the Warncliffe Baby Banters that are out now? I'm sure they're going to be really cool little fifth pocket knives, but I gotta say, I think they're ugly. I think they're hideous. Let me know what you think. And let's end this review with some button lock comparisons. There's our Pyrite by CJRB, and here is the Syncut Serene. Nice. Alrighty. Materials here. So, again, this is the Desert Warrior version, but Nitro V Spear Point Blade, that's the same on all of the Elementum 2s. We got a steel pocket clip button lock, and G10 or micarta scales. I think you can get this in G10 or micarta. These ones here are pink, sparkly, sprinkled G10 scales. Yeah, running on bearings. Let's go ahead and do the cutting. Oh, the places I go for review cutting. My poor truck hates me. So we're still at Kilburn Hole. I've done 3 review cuttings today, so I'm not sure what order you guys will see them in, but gotta show off some of this scenery. That bumpy ass road right there, I drug my truck down just a little bit ago. Isn't this pretty? And the sunset's also turning out to be pretty gorgeous, but stupid Nola's in the way, so it's unfortunate, especially since today's review cutting knife, or the knife that we're doing the review cutting for today, I can't speak, is a very colorful, very sweet knife, just like that sunset. It is back at the table, or the tailgate, whatever. Oh, it's been a good day. It's been a good day. I've got a bunch of exams next week, so I'm coming out doing some review cutting, doing some hiking. It's been fantastic. But today we're talking about the Civivi Elementum 2. The button lock. Not the gravity knife button lock, but the flipper one. You guys know which one it is. You guys know which one it is. I don't even know why I'm trying to explain this to you. By the way, all this basalt out here, this is not stuff that's from the Kilburn Hole explosion. There's the Aden volcanic field is also over here, and so these were basalts that flowed over the area after Kilburn Hole went off. But Kilburn Hole was a basaltic eruption. Yeah, we're not going to get into the geology again, but I did want to just point that out. But yeah, interestingly enough, it looks like we've got some things here that could be labeled scoria. So like the CGRB scoria, which I actually have in my truck right now. Let me grab a piece. Someone built a campfire here with some rocks. Might get away with calling this scoria. I would just call it vesicular basalt. Aphanetic vesicular basalt. I'm not seeing any crystal grains, so yeah. Anyways, okay, I said I wasn't going to talk about geology, and then I did. We're talking about knives. Here is our Elementum 2. Let's go ahead and talk about that action. Button lock. So she's swingy, she's dangly. The flip is very good. This knife feels like it has a detent. This might be the best flipper button lock I've ever felt. That break is just so clean. Listen to the sounds. Very, very nice. I like that a whole lot. So yeah, great action. Single deployment. Well, I guess 2 deployments since you can, you know, do the button lock swing. But yeah, you know what? The single deployment works just fine. Let's talk about the ergonomics. They're good, right? The Elementum's always had good ergonomic lines, fairly neutral. This one is fatter than the original Elementum, which was something that a lot of people were noticing and pointing out. And yeah, it does feel a little bit better in hand, I gotta say. One thing about this version in particular is I hate the way this I hate the way these cupcake scales feel. And it looks like, I'm not sure how they did this, but it looks like we got pink G10 and then a sticker on top. And I don't like the feel of that sticker. It's kind of, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of the mildest version of fingernails on a chalkboard. I don't like it, but I'm pretty sure that's exclusive to this version here. All right, let's talk about the carry. So it's not a huge knife. Pocket clip is inset with flat screws. Love to see that. It's Civivi's newer clip, which is an okay clip. However, it's not reversible for lefties. I don't know why Civivi refuses to make the Elementum lefty friendly, but they do, and it sucks. Big, evil, stinky plan of theirs. But in and out of the pocket, it's fine. I don't know why they bothered with a deep carry clip on this version, because that is anything but subtle, right? But, you know, they did. Whatever. That's cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to some cutting. Nitro V blade here. Hollow grind. I had some complaints with the Nitro V on my Vision FG. That knife has been getting a lot more use than this one has, so it might be a little more dull, but yeah. Okay, so we're going to cut off this nasty little corner here. It's a hollow grind. It feels amazing. Civivi, please do more hollow grinds. Right? We all love them. This is a kind of a spear point, drop point. Very good for your utility cuts. So I didn't quite get through on that one. But yeah, there we go. Great blade for slicing. Let's go ahead and get our rope out here. Bada bing, bada boom. Felt a little bit weird. Let's see how the push through goes. 1, 2, all right. 3. Okay, so yeah, actually did really, really well in the push through. I guess that hollow grind is sharp enough to just part those fibers. Obviously, because that's how cutting works. All right, pool noodle time. Whoa, go through. Keep getting hung up on the choil. All right, so let's take a look at what we got here. So, blade was a little bit short. I kept getting caught in the choil, but
despite that, it felt very good going through. That hollow grind really did just cut like a laser. I did feel a little bit of a push when we reached the flat, but that's not unusual. And yeah, that cut really, really dang good. All right, let's go ahead, get back to the table.
Alrighty, we are back. Let's go ahead and get into what I'm liking and not liking about this knife. So, number one, this does carry over a lot of the great features of the original Elementum. Now, I was never the biggest fan of the Elementum. I think a lot of knife reviewers are over the Elementum now. But I do think the Elementum is a fantastic knife design, especially for beginners. This is a knife that I would never hesitate to give as a gift. So I think the Elementum definitely deserves respect. And this maintains some of the great features that made the original Elementum such a recommendable knife. So first up is the blade. This spear point blade is incredibly useful. This is pretty much the perfect EDC blade shape for anyone. You've got a nice tip that's aligned with the pivot so you can get to your utility cuts without too much trouble. You got a nice little bit of belly, you got some straight. 3 inches of blade, that's going to be enough for a lot of people to do what they need to do. And it's not going to be, a huge unwieldy knife, or, it's probably not going to get someone in trouble legally speaking. Again, I'm a YouTuber, not a lawyer. So yeah, great blade shape and this deep hollow grind. A very tall, very deep hollow grind. You get to a stupidly thin edge on this blade, which is just wonderful. I wish Civivi would do more of these hollow grinds. I do love flat grinds. I really do. I think flat grinds are fantastic, but a flat grind, in my opinion, works best on a broad blade. So broad blade with a flat grind, fantastic, beautiful thing. If this had a flat grind on this somewhat short or narrow blade, it would not be as good of a cutter. So by making it a hollow grind on these narrow blades, you help the knife perform a lot better than it otherwise would. So I really do like that a whole lot. One thing that this knife upgrades over the original is we have Nitro V instead of D2. Now, a Nitro V is a fine steel. I will say I do not like Nitro V as much as 14C28N. I know a lot of people love Nitro V, and honestly, from what I've seen, I'm the only person that really struggles with Nitro V. But for example, my Civivi Vision FG, this knife just did not have the edge holding that I want it to have. I've had trouble with Nitro V on other Civivis. I've had it perform just fine as well. I don't know. I feel like I'm the only person having these Nitro V problems. But anyways, I will say Nitro V is probably, in most cases, preferable to the D2, although Civivi does do a great job with their D2. Next up, the ergonomic lines are the same, and that's good too, because the Elementum had very good ergos. Pretty neutral, we swelled out here to the back. It was really nice, to grab onto. One thing that the new one does differently, though, is it is considerably thicker than the original. And that does actually make it feel a little bit better in the hand. Some people might say that will make it carry less cleanly, you want something slimmer, maybe, but honestly, I prefer ergos. And so, yeah, you can do that. This whole area here on the Elementum has always been kind of a trigger pull choil. You can get up in there. The jimping on the back of the blade is fine. It's positioned almost in the right spot. I do wish it came out a little bit further, but it's fine jimping. The pocket clip here, this is also new. So this is the pocket clip that Civivi, I think they're going to start using this on more of their stuff. The first time I saw this clip was on the Mini Praxis. But obviously this Elementum has their old steel clip, which I like this clip quite a bit. And I'm glad they brought it back on the Vision FG. I think that was a smart idea. The squared off portion of it makes it a little bit more comfortable in hand. But this clip is good too. It works great in and out of the pocket. They did recess it with flat screws. Absolutely love that. Thank you. doing the right thing there. And it does bill up quite a bit here, which I don't really like, but the clip itself is fine. It doesn't bother me too much in the hand. Next of all, let's talk about the action. So flipper only, button lock. I gotta say, this might be the best button lock flipper I have felt yet. It's very, very good. The Sencut Serene is good. But it's not as good as this. This just really, really snaps. Yeah, really, really cool. Very good action. And, you know, it's a button lock, so you've got that pretty much frictionless drop. You can flick it out with a button. I'm not the biggest fan of button locks, I've said that before, but on a knife like this, it makes sense because this Civivi Elementum is not a hard use knife. Right, this is an EDC knife, and so button locks on EDC knives I'm completely fine with. I think it's fine. Adds a little bit of fidgetiness. Yeah, pretty cool. Great action. Before we start talking about negatives and stuff, let's go ahead and discuss just briefly this Desert Warrior version right here. So obviously this is a very fun knife. This is a meme knife. I love the whole story behind this. You know, people misspelling Desert Warrior. But I do like the way that Blade HQ kind of executes these things. You know, you've got the blue blade, which I think this is a painted on coating. I'm not sure what this coating is. It feels a little bit weird. Oh, and by the way, there you can see the Nitro V blade steel marking. Nitro V. Feels a little bit weird, but again, you know, kind of a goofy knife. I like that all the screws are different colors. So we've got the green screw, blue screw, same on the other side. Then we've got the purple pivot, which, by the way, Civivi keeping their logo on the pivot. That's something I've always appreciated from them. Keep it up, Civivi. That's cool. You know, keeps the blade pretty clean. You can see here with the G10 scales, so we've got like 2 different layers here, right? Oh, and then we've got like the cream colored liners, like the donut bread. But we've got like this darker pink and then this lighter pink. I don't know what this is, but I gotta say, I hate the way this feels. I hate the way this feels. So I did carry this knife. I did EDC this knife, which, yes, I got some pretty hilarious looks when I ever had to pull this out and use it. One thing that drove me nuts was the way this feels, though. I absolutely hated it. It's like smooth fingernails on chalkboard. If that even makes sense, I don't know. I was not a big fan of the way that felt. I imagine this is some kind of sticker that they had to put on over, you know, actual G10, but I don't know. Anyways, though, I'm glad that I have this knife in my collection. I always wanted to get a Desert Warrior Elementum to use as my size comparison knife because I don't really carry Elementums anymore, and so I really use them as size comparisons only. So I wanted something that was kind of goofy in the collection. So there we go. Very, very cool. Yeah, this knife is one of the funnier knives in my collection. I absolutely love that. All right, let's go ahead and get on to some negatives. The number one negative is I do not know why Civivi refuses to make the Elementum lefty friendly, especially this version. Look. The original Elementum did not have a reversible clip. Okay, party foul, right? It was one of Civivi's earlier models. They made a mistake. But every other iteration of the Elementum they've come out with has not had the reversible clip. Maybe the big button lock version did. Maybe that one had a reversible clip. In fact, now I'm thinking about it, I think that one did. But that's the only one. Civivi, is it so hard to just flip a clip over? And it's not like it's just this version here, right? They didn't want to make the clip reversible because, you know, then it would mess up the lines of this beautiful donut glaze. No, every version of the Civivi Elementum 2 has a single-sided only pocket clip. And this is a button lock. Button locks are great for lefties. I've argued before, I think button locks are actually better for lefties. I think it's easier to use a button lock as a left-handed person. And so not giving them the option to I say that a lot. Wow, to swap that clip over, it's just kind of a slap in the face. It's really annoying. And Like, they come out with the Warncliffe Elementum now, and it has like the thumb studs and the flipper tab. It's still a liner lock. But again, no reversible clip. So I don't know why Civivi just refuses to make the Elementum accessible to lefties. That seems like such a missed opportunity. The Elementum is one of the most popular knives in the knife world right now. I was going to say in the budget knife realm, but no, just in knives in general, the Civivi Elementum is very, very popular. And I just, gosh, they're missing out. Civivi, why? Why? It's just ridiculous. But, yeah, so that drives me nuts. I know a bunch of my lefty compadres out there are going to feel the same way, but very, very frustrating thing. Don't know why they do that. And honestly, that's really my only complaint, right? That's kind of my only valid complaint. Everything else are things that I could just nitpick. Like, for one, the size of the Elementum isn't really my favorite thing. I don't like the flipper tab kind of. I don't know. There's certain things with the Elementum that just make it not ideal for me, but they're not things that are like legitimate complaints, right? Fin finish out of the box was great. T8 hardware. The action's fantastic. The knife is a usable tool. And so really, that's what we're going to have to end the review on. The Civivi Elementum 2 is a fantastic little knife. It really is. This is a great EDC knife. I think it's going to make a lot of people very, very happy. Great ergos. Good pocket clip, except for it not being reversible. You have a fantastic blade. Great action. You got a little bit of fidget factor. This is a fantastic knife, and I can 100% recommend it. Again, the Elementum design, for me, just doesn't, it doesn't turn me on all that much, but that's fine, right? I can still recommend the knife. Is it better than the liner lock version? Maybe. Which one do I prefer? I don't know. I do like liner locks better than button locks. So, there's that. I do prefer the ergos on this one. Honestly, I don't think there's a huge difference. Really, it's just button lock versus liner lock. If this had a reversible clip, it would be like a no-brainer for a left-handed person buying an Elementum. Like, okay, which one do I want to get? Well, obviously this one has a reversible clip and it's a button lock, but they didn't do that, so that's, upsetting. This one is also a little bit heavier than the original, so if that's an issue to you, you'll probably notice that. But yeah, I think this is definitely a very competent sequel to the original Elementum. And again, I do like the Elementum. Like, even though it's not my favorite thing, I do like it. I do recognize the impact it's had on the knife world. And it is a knife that when a lot of people ask me, hey, I'm just looking for an EDC knife, what should I get? I do point a lot of people towards the Elementum. It's a very easy recommendation. And honestly, I know that it'll probably hold up to whatever people need to throw at it. So yeah, the Civivi Elementum 2 gets a huge recommendation. This is a fantastic knife. Very, very fun. I think all the Desert Warrior ones are sold out, so unfortunate about that. But honestly, like, if I was going to buy this to use it, I would not go with this one. Like I said, I don't like the way the blade feels. I don't like the way the scales feel. It's a little bit loud, but, I've got it for the meme. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, we didn't talk about the price. The price is fine. These are like $63. The price is fine. Yeah, it's fine. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Gideon. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment below, and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Adios.